I am deeply honored to have been asked to do this. Pope Benedict has declared this year to be one of faith and evangelization, convinced that God's presence and his love should be obvious all around us. It should be especially obvious here today in this chapel, because Father Jack Logan, Order of Carmelites, evangelized us all his life. He evangelized you, and I know he evangelized me. And I'm going to tell you how Jack the Evangelist, whom I loved, did it. Father Jack taught us that our God is the source of all joy. When Father Gus called me on Wednesday evening to tell me of Jack's death, Gus, who usually is not this succinct, summed up our mutual feeling in 5 words. What great times we had. Reminiscing about those times is best done over a pint in another venue. But can we seek the source of the joy that Jack consistently brought to his family, to his Carmelite brothers, and to his friends? I think the answer is simple. Because of his faith, Jack was comfortable with everybody. He was comfortable with men, he was comfortable with women, and he was comfortable with the stranger. He liked us all because he really liked us, and it was easy to like him back. This quietly morphed into loving him back with the same sort of affection shared by his brother and his sisters. For Jack, friendship was never an investment made with the hope of some handsome return in the future. It was always, every day, the real deal. And I think that's the source of the great times we had. Father Jack taught us that the path to God is straightforward if approached with simplicity. Jack's family and mine grew up in the post-World War II Bronx, a simple world where a boy's treasure consisted of a Spalding in the junk drawer, 1 stickball bat, a pair of Keds with cardboard masking the holes in the bottom, and if you were flush, a basketball, which parenthetically both Jack and Ronnie bounced with elegant efficiency. The immigrant parents who loved us did such a good job that we fancied ourselves wealthy. It turns out that Jack never left that Bronx. All his life, he carried with him a fierce loyalty and a dramatic simplicity of life. He made promises of simplicity to the order and to the church, and he kept them. Jack had no desire to collect stuff or to assemble a posse, no desire to live other than Bronx-like, no desire to appear important, and absolutely no inclination ever to pretend to be other than he was. For Jack, a good friend, a good book, a beautifully composed and witty letter to a buddy, this was his wealth. Plump Jack even made dying appear simple, although the caregivers here at St. Albert's and Jack's beautiful and devoted Bridget can tell you how unsimple it actually was. But during the past few years, we watched Jack migrate from shuffling across the Mount Carmel sanctuary to the altar so as not to stumble, to leaning on a cane, to following a walker, to sitting in a wheelchair, and finally to reclining in a bed. And during that time, I never heard Jack complain. That's not an exaggeration. Not once did I ever hear Jack complain. The simplicity of Jack's faith, his decision to forgo treatment and take this final journey in peace and dignity, is pure Bronx, and it will walk with me for the rest of my life. God's simplicity revealed. And finally, Jack evangelized us about God's faithfulness. Jack was faithful to his family, including the football team plus 3 referees of nieces and nephews, whom he loved ferociously. He was faithful to his Carmelite brothers. He was faithful to his friends. and he was faithful to whatever mission the order sent him. Imagine 29 years of walking the halls of Bellevue Hospital day and night with Frankie Morani and Father Captain Bob Greco, bringing healing and comfort to the poor and afflicted of New York City. Their very presence at Bellevue was an evangelization effort of service and a faith commitment which few of us could have accomplished as generously. Well, there you have it, the secret. Our joyful, simple, faithful Jack, now safely in the arms of the Lord and secure in the embrace of Mary of Carmel. Ronnie, Anne, and Bridget, and you'll have to tell this to Peggy, you must know how much the Carmelite Order thanks you, and how much we all thank you for sharing your brother with us for almost 60 years. As for the hole in your heart and the salt in your tears, forget it. They're simply the heat and smoke from the love that you have always shared and will always share with your brother. We hope that it is some consolation to you that everybody here today sits around that fire with you. And why not take final consolation from another 5 words? Now, I have to warn you, they're not biblical, but they're pure Logan, and they do contain a profound meaning. Jack, we'll catch you later.